go to the other floors. If you need to use the restroom, please use the ones on this floor. Finally, please enjoy today, and please talk to each other to broaden your perspective. Thank you. Now, we will start with a greeting remark. Please join us in welcoming Kiyoshi Takahashi from the Department of Business Strategy at Benesse Corporation.
Thank you all for coming today. I am Kiyoshi Takahashi from Benesse Corporation. The theme of today's EdTech Symposium Volume 2 is Creators Learning. We believe that children are students studying for their future. We cannot predict future, so children have to form the future by themselves. It is one of the reasons why we are focusing on creators learning. For example, now we have global mass platform for creators, for learners, and for players. Using this, players and learners can make their own math game, and they can release them. After that, they can evaluate each other. This will broaden learners' perspective. This experience led us to designing creators learning. Today, I am glad to have such a peculiar symposium with you and with your stream audience and with dynamic presenters. I will introduce dynamic presenters. First, Antti Soninen, Country Director for Rovio Japan, will show us very known game, Angry Birds. By the way, Antti-san, thank you very much for bringing your speaker. And next, Yo Shimizu, CEO of very creative company UEI. UEI creates very new programming language, Enter.js, which is now booming. Toru Fujimoto, Assistant Professor of Tokyo University. He will explain about game-based learning. And Yoshihiro Kishimoto, Associate Professor at the University of Technology, Tokyo University of Technology. You know, he is known as the father of the Famisuta, which is a very popular title of Nintendo. He will explain about creator learning of his university students. And Benesse, we will explain about global mass platform development. And next, soon after my speech, last year, winners of San Francisco Japan Night 5 and 6, Mr. Tsujikawa, CEO of Sharebiz, and Dr. Jensen from Iceland. They will show the big potential of Japanese EdTech for global market. Thank you for listening and enjoy today's EdTech Symposium. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Takahashi. Now, let us move on to the play session, Possibility of EdTech. It is a great pleasure to invite two winners of San Francisco Japan Night, which is an entrepreneurial competition in the United States. They will speak about EdTech new services so that 21st century learners will study effectively using high technology. First up, the positioning of Sharebiz, a casual learning content platform with a knowledge map. Let us welcome Tomoki Tsujikawa, CEO of Sharebiz Incorporated, winner of San Francisco Japan Night 5. Please give him a big hand.
Oh. Should I wait for that? Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm very proud to be invited to such a great symposium. I'm Tomoki from ShareWiz Inc. Oops. Could you turn the display? Sorry. Okay, I'd like to talk about what ShareWiz is first, based on the presentation I made at the SF Japan Night, the pitch contest in San Francisco last year. After that, I will cover today's main topic, the positioning of ShareWiz. Okay, let's get started. What is ShareWiz? ShareWiz is a casual learning content platform with knowledge map for working adults. Before going into details about our product, please take a look at these photos. This guy has exercised on a regular basis and finally achieved his ideal body shape. Cool, that's great. Okay, then please take a look at the next guy. He has also studied hard and finally gained a broad knowledge of accounting. Let's look at the result. Not much difference, just he looks a little smug, doyagao in Japanese. The point I'm trying to make here is that learning progress is invisible, so it's difficult to keep learning. In particular, for working adults, there is no clear curriculum after graduation. It's difficult to monitor their progress. Of course, there is a way to visualize your learning progress to set a clear goal, milestones, and review it regularly. But as you know, it's very difficult to do all the things. So there needs to be a place where people can learn easily and casually and visualize their learning progress. ShareWiz is that place. The value proposition is here. This to discover what you really want to learn through a casual learning experience on the knowledge map. ShareWiz is available on PC and iPhone and iPad. Today I will show you our iOS app demo. This is a knowledge map. Circle is a learning course. The course consists of several lectures. It is part of the please look at our adventure so far. We released our iOS app December 20th, 2012. So far, 300,000 people have viewed our lectures, and 30,000 users have signed up to record their learning history on the knowledge map. And there are some amazing reactive users. One here, you can see an example of a comment from such an active user. We are sure that the knowledge map made her learning experience a lot of fun. And ShareWiz app and also web services are free. So now let me explain monetization strategies. Our target users are people who want to learn new things, but don't have clear goal or motivation. ShareWiz supports such people in finding what they really want to learn and functions as a lead generation to existing paid learning content for both offline and online. Okay, this is what ShareWiz is. So now let me explain the positioning. There is an interesting statistics. In Japan, working adults in their 20s and 30s, 80% of them answered that they wanted to learn something new, but only 10% of them took actual actions, and the rest, the 70%, did nothing. On the other hand, the EdTech services, including kids and for working adults, are growing rapidly, right? And now, on the internet, there are a lot of online learning content. But I have a question. Once the amount of the online content increases enough, does that 70% people start to learn or not? What do you think about it? My opinion is no. The amount does not matter because, as you know, in library, there are already many freely accessible learning content, right? Again, this is our lead generation model. Our target is that 70% people, and ShareWiz provides such people with casual and short lectures and game-like interface, and functions as an entrance to start to learn new things. To illustrate this concept, it would be a good idea to take, how can I say, a web service for lovers, an analogy. To start love, what is the first step? The first step is to find a good partner, right? So dating service, 出会い系 in Japanese, is useful for that purpose. The next step, to deepen relationship, to deepen love. The closed communication service, pairing between and a couple will be useful. The finally, get married. I know marriage is not the final goal, but it's not related to this topic. So let's move on. In this analogy, the content quality centered services like MOOCs are positioned here. People who have already found what they really want to learn will use these MOOC service. On the other hand, ShareWiz is positioned here. It is like match.com between learners and learning content. So the next question is that who needs such types of matching service? Is a young playboy or a single lonely 30s or 40s? I have a hypothesis. Here, you can see, how can I say, user segments of, according to age of ShareWiz. The characteristic of the chart is that relatively elder people are using ShareWiz, like 30s, 40s, and 50s. And surprisingly, we recently received a message from 83-year-old user. And actually, this was my first time to be told, I will follow you by 83-year-old man. Anyway, considering smartphone is used by young generation, maybe the ShareWiz, the biggest segment is late 30s to 40s. I have hypothesis that 20s are busy to learn how to work or get accustomed with company cultures. After the 30s and 40s, have a room to learn new things and to start to learn what they really want to learn. I don't think we abandon 20s because in the future that they will come, all the people need to learn. By that time, we will make ShareWiz as a worldwide content platform. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Tsujikawa. Now, let us move on to the second talk. The presenter is Dr. Anna Jensen, CEO of Corey Limited, winner of San Francisco Japan Night 6. He is in his office in Iceland with us live on the screen too. Please give him a big applause. Dr. Jensen, can you hear us? Dr. Jensen? Dr. Jensen, hi, can you hear us? Oh, it looks like a technical difficulty, so please give us a moment while we sort this out.
Can you hear me? Hello? Hello?
Hi.
Can you hear
Dr.
me?
Jensen,
Can you hear me?
us?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay,
Hi,
hello.
doing?
Hello.
Hi, how are you doing?
Very good. It's early morning here in Iceland, actually.
Really?
It's 8 a.m.
Are you sleepy?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. And actually, we have been looking forward to seeing you, so please begin.
Yeah. So I'm Arno Jensen, and I am a founder and CEO of Corey. And we are doing language learning online. I don't see my slides, but maybe you can go to the second slide. What is Corey? I have a PhD in computer science, focused on linguistics. And I took my PhD from Tokyo Institute of Technology, Tokyo Kokyo Daigaku. And I came to Japan 2003 and graduated my PhD 2009. And after my PhD, I thought about how I could help the world. I've been learning languages for a very long time. Can we go to the next slide? And as you know, language learning is really, really difficult. When I came to Japan, I was put into class with Korean people and Chinese people. And they, of course, went through the material so much faster than I did. I basically had to, thank you. I had to basically start learning again and again because the other students were so much faster than I was. Because they knew perhaps kanji or the structure of the language more than I did. And when I was in my when I was learning Japanese and in my PhD, then I started asking myself a question. Can you go to the next slide? I started thinking, wouldn't it be great to have a private teacher that knows exactly your learning problems at all times? And wouldn't it be great to have the learning material personalized to you? Meaning the book that you are using to learn a language, it will constantly change to your needs. And wouldn't it be great to be able to learn quicker than ever before using artificial intelligence or the help of a system? What about having the learning gamified so you get points and badges while you're learning to motivate you? And wouldn't it be great to have it cost just a fraction of what it costs today? Because learning a language is very, very expensive for the individuals and also for society. This is what Corey is trying to do. If we can go to the next slide. I wanted to show you a short video. Is it possible to play?
Corey, learn Japanese the smart way. Do you have trouble remembering? If so, you're not alone. Introducing Corey with its patented and incredibly smart artificial intelligence. Corey's AI tackles the issue of memory in 3 ways. When you learn something only once or twice, it's stored temporarily in your short-term memory. But as time goes on, it fades away and is lost. Corey analyzes your unique memory patterns and reminds you before you lose it. As you study, you begin to need fewer and fewer reminders, and the word stays in your memory longer. This is 100% controlled by the AI, so you don't need to do anything but log in and go. The system goes even further and offers you unique and varying tasks at each stage, helping you remember even longer. These tasks improve your sentence building and listening skills, while also teaching you context. But here's the most impressive part. As you use the system, Corey's massive archive of sentences are automatically updated and shifted around to match your level. The AI takes your learning information and assigns a unique score to each and every sentence in the system. From there, a sentence is chosen that features the current target word and other words you need to review. As your skills improve, those scores change, and you're given the most effective challenge to keep you improving. The Corey AI system, total personalization, true intelligence, and finally, your chance to really learn without memory holding you back. Sign up for Corey and learn Japanese the smart way.
Can you, is it okay to go back to, yeah, thank you. Maybe go to the next slide. What we do, no, the previous slide, please. Previous slide, please. Yes. Basically what we do, we are doing personalized learning, and we customize the content to the user. And but what really makes the system unique is how efficient it is. We are using gamification. So it's motivating. It's a very simple user experience and user interface. We worked really hard on that. But it's also for teachers. They can monitor the classroom, and they can discover problems that are both for the group of users as well as individuals. The system also collects data from the users, and it will improve itself over time. This is a very important point. Next slide, please. Now, the language learning market is absolutely huge. It's about $60 billion market, and it's growing. E-learning is of course a part of this market, and it's growing faster than the overall market. Now, it's a competitive market, but think about it. The market is still offline, meaning people are still going the classroom and using private teachers and just lessons to learn. We are bringing this market online. So we are disrupting the market. And this will be disrupted in this decade, in my mind, because there are just not enough teachers to teach all the students that are entering into this world today. And next slide, please. Corey was born global. We started in Tokyo, and actually one of our team member is in the hall with you right now, Asusa Matsumoto. And please talk to him after, because I'm not there. But we also have offices in Reykjavik, Iceland, where our development team is, in Belgium, in Sweden, and we recently opened an office in Palo Alto. I was there actually last week, talking to universities such as Berkeley and Stanford, and as well talking to investors. Next slide, please. Just as a final word, we are tackling a very difficult problem. We are disrupting the offline language learning market, and we're doing that with technology. We are doing more efficient learning and trying to make learning more fun. And I wanted to have these as my final words. So thank you so much for listening, and thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Jensen. Now, we want to start a panel discussion, welcoming your moderator, Mr. Shohei Ando, Manager of International Deals at Samurai Incubate Corporated. Mr. Tsujikawa, Dr. Jensen, and Mr. Ando, please.
I think we run out of time, so we would like to start quickly. And my English not so good, so please be participate. I'm patient. And quickly, I would like to introduce myself and my company. I'm Shohei Ando, works for the Samurai Incubate, in charge of international affairs at Samurai Incubate. Just in case you don't know, and people you don't know us, Samurai Incubate is one of the leading incubator in Japan, and we invested in 80 startups so far, including 2 EdTech startups. And then so far, half of the 80s raised fund or were acquired after our investment. So currently we are sharing how to build a successful startup to the startup at our accelerator program and our incubators. So casually speaking, we are in education business for the startups. So I'm so honored to be here today with 2 innovators of the EdTech area. So let me begin. Today we have 2 topics. One topic is regarding to the past and present, and second topic is future plan. So let me begin the first topic. So could you hear me, Anna-san?
Yes.
Yes. It's take time. So based on your presentation, you expand business to abroad a lot. I mean, you have a lot of the office in the world. So I would like to ask you, I can imagine a lot of difficulty when you expand business abroad a lot. So could you share your lesson from your experience and failures? I think before the question, what do you do, everyone? I don't think you are a student at the university. You student? Student. How about you? A professor or a coach? Okay. So mainly here is a businessman, right? Okay. So could you share your experience and to the audience who runs the EdTech business?
Right. The most important, in my mind, as an entrepreneur, it doesn't really matter if it's EdTech or not. Is to be passionate about your product. Waking up with waking up every morning and you want to help your users to understand your product better and also creating a better product. Now I of course have had this idea for a very long time in my mind, but I started 5 years ago with Corey, and it's a problem that I was solving. Learning a language is really hard, and I found a solution to this, and I wanted to help other learners. So being passionate, really passionate about it is very, very important.
Based on your experience, so passionate is the most important. But how did you overcome your big issue when you face? I mean, I think there is a lot of the cultural difference. As you mentioned, you came to Japan, you had a lot of the cultural differences. Only passion, or?
Well, yes.
Go ahead.
Of course, there's a cultural difference, and it's of course very hard to live in a new culture with a totally different language. But it's a little bit different from the solution of in EdTech and creating great products for EdTech. This is the real thing. It's like being passionate and also like endurance, because creating something new, which is great, it takes a really, really long time, and it's really, really hard.
Yeah. Okay, it's great. Hey, I felt your passion a lot. Thank you for your answer. So, Tsujikawa-san, you expand business to the U.S., right? Not yet, but you are planning to. So what do you feel the difficulty, and what did you learn from your?
Thank you, Ando-san. When I went to the San Francisco last year, I got surprised that EdTech was very popular in Silicon Valley compared to Japan. For example, the VCs and the engineers are enthusiastic about EdTech service. So if you are planning to launch a product related to EdTech, I recommend that you should launch it not only in Japan but also to the overseas.
Why do you think so there? And yeah.
Especially for me, we are using the existing online content. When you see the YouTube video, there are lots of free learning lectures in English. But when you see the Japanese lectures on the YouTube, there are a few videos, right? So, yeah, that's that one.
I see. It makes sense. Okay, so we got how to overcome the problem. So maybe we should move to the next topic. I'm sorry for limited time. So we would like to talk about the future. So next, please. Next slide, please. So the theme 2 is future. What's the business plan? So maybe Anna-san already talked about the global expansion, and your service is like kind of the tech startups. So do you have a plan, any plan to compete with a global competitor because you are already global company? So do you have a key or expansion strategy?
Yes, of course. Before going global and moving to other markets, it's very important to have a proved business model in one market. And we have accomplished this with our Japanese service, language learning. And now we are moving to English. We're moving to English learning for Japanese people, which is coming out in March. So we're moving and expanding to other markets. And soon after that, actually, we are moving to Korea and entering the English and also actually the Japanese market in language learning markets in Korea. We've been mostly just B2C, but we are also moving into B2B for companies. And we are currently, we have several universities with us, and we plan to move there into more universities as well.
So basically you are planning the market strategy, but not tech. I mean, do you have any plan of the like a future function of the product or any tech development?
Right.
Okay. So, Suzuka-san? Yeah, you. So I think there is a lot of difficulty because in the U.S., especially in Silicon Valley, there is a lot of competitors doing really similar businesses, and they are. Is it not so many?
Yeah, not same. For example, in the U.S., Udemy is a big competitor. Not competitor, the big EdTech player, but they are kind of learning content market platform. They are selling. Their objective is to sell more learning content to the users. But our service is focused on to make them find what they want to learn. So actually, we are trying to make the partnership with Udemy now.
I see. I see. So in the near future, you will partnership with Udemy, and do you have any plan to expand as a press, not only Silicon Valley? Do you have any plan? Only now you focus on the Silicon Valley. Then, I mean that. So I'm sorry.
Sorry.
So do you have any plan for global expansion? I mean.
Yeah, I have a plan. But as Anna-san mentioned, the first thing we need to do is to establish the business model first. So I think, as for me, Japan is a good place to establish the business model first, I think.
Based on both of you, you think as a market globally, but you tackle the issue like locally. So think global, act locally. I see. Understood. So 3 minutes left. So okay. So 1 minute. Could you give to the audience the message like? You mentioned to the academic people, but do you have any like only not passion, but something to say to the audience. Yeah.
Okay, it's similar to passion. Only I can say is if you do the EdTech business, don't give up. Because compared to other services like SNS or photo app, the growing rate of EdTech service is not so speedy. It's relatively slow. But don't give up because it is take time to change education. But we should believe in that in the future we will change education.
Cool. Do you have any message to the audience, Anderson?
Yes, I very much agree with everybody else here. It's like have endurance and be passionate. These are basically my messages because it's hard and it takes a long time.
Yeah, both of you are entrepreneurs, so it's impressive. So I would like to conclude this session. I think only action can change the world better. So after the event, please do something new, and let's make the world better together. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much. Let us give them another round of applause. Now that the police session is over, we will have a 10 minutes break and we'll start the session 1 at 5:55 p.m. Please exit the room and you will see the restroom in front of you. Thank you.
失礼します。大塚健一様いらっしゃいましたらですね、私の方までよろしくお願いします。
Please wait till 1 minute. The symposium will begin. Thank you. We think our summer left this past case. So is anyone here who lost it? Maybe his name is Kenichi Otsuka. If anyone here, please let me know later. Now, it is time to start the session 1. Please have a seat. In the session 1, we will talk about creators learning. The first talk is about background philosophy of Angry Birds and the role of games in education. Please join us in welcoming Auntie Sonina, the Japan Country Director of Rovio Entertainment.
All right, hello everybody. My name is Antti. I'm from Rovio, the company behind Angry Birds. We started in 2003 as a mobile games development company. We made several different titles, and in 2007 we had about 30 employees and were doing fairly well. But then in 2009 our headcount had dropped from 30 to 12 and we were almost going bankrupt. So it was pretty tough times. But that was a little bit after the iPhone came out. And at that point, one of our game designers came up with this image. It's one of the first sketches of what later became Angry Birds, these goofy-looking avians crashing into all kinds of constructions. And at that time, the swine flu, pig influenza was going around the world, so that provided us as a good reason to make pigs the enemies of the game. So, because we made so many games, we learned that it's very hard to make a hit in entertainment. Some games are very successful, but most of them actually are not. So we realized that once you have a hit, it's a good idea to start expanding that franchise. So we planned it so that we would make games as long as we have a hit. And when the Angry Birds game came out, we wanted to use that. We wanted to build it more to just a game. It all started as a game. That was the base, but we started adding different kind of branches there. One of the first ones was consumer products, like you can see the plush toy over there. Here are some of the first products that we released around that time. And I think around this time, it sounds a bit crazy, but I think at this time we had maybe 100 million downloads. That's around the population of Japan. This was 2011. Because of that kind of position, we got opportunities to work with big organizations and companies like NASA. And we got into a discussion with NASA because they are the experts of space and physics, and they want to share their knowledge with everybody in the world. But their challenge is that space and physics are not so easy to understand. It's a bit challenging for the average person to grasp all of it. So we provided our characters as a platform to make it easier for them to explain what physics is all about. This is a NASA astronaut, Tom Pettit, at the International Space Station demonstrating physics using our game. We were lucky enough to be a part of an event like that. Later on, we expanded to book and comic publishing. Our first book was a recipe book, Bad Piggy's Egg Recipes. Later on, we started thinking that entertainment, it should be physical as well. So we expanded into activity parks. And we don't call them theme parks, we call them activity parks because we believe that instead of standing in line for 2 hours, we think it's much more fun to exercise your body and your mind. Then later on we started an animations series, and it's called Angry Birds Toons. There's a new episode every week. When you open our game, on the right-hand side there's a button that you press to play, and then on the left side there's a button that says Toons. When you press that, it connects to our animation server. You can see various different animations there, and you can also watch them on TV. 2016, we're making a full-length feature film in Los Angeles. So it's been quite a journey. Our company started in 2003. We almost went bankrupt in 2009, but we want to make the same thing that we did with we want to make the same with the other characters that we did with Angry Birds. And we started thinking about why did NASA get interested in working with us in the first place? We thought that is there something more that we could do in the learning and education field? And we hired some of the best professionals that we knew in the education field and started thinking what our own education program could look like. We're an entertainment company, so our job is to entertain people, make people laugh, smile. So we were thinking, what if education was more fun? And we learned that learning is fun when you can do what you love, when you have freedom to choose how to study. If studying is dangerous, you don't want to do that, so it should be safe. We're in entertainment, so we know something about addiction, and this time we wanted to use our knowledge of creating an addiction to make it learning a very positive addiction. And then I'll skip number 5 and 6, but 7, I think it's also important to mention that learning can be fun when it's fun to fail, meaning that it's okay to take risks. We also added what we call 21st century skills to the learning program. Now that everybody has Wikipedia in their pocket, it doesn't make sense anymore to memorize long lists of, for example, capitals of all the countries in the world, because you can check that in 3 seconds anytime you want. Instead, we feel it's important that we should train our children and people to be experts at acquiring new knowledge, experts at teamwork, experts at creative thinking and problem solving. So we baked all of this thinking into Angry Birds Playground. I'll just show, in the end, I'll show a few examples of the new products that we've launched. We started out with activity books. So we like pen and paper. We were born on the mobile device, but books are still very important for us. We have a partnership with National Geographic, who's distributing these activity books. We're also making digital learning apps, arts and crafts. So this is, you can build something physical using our material. Logic games, music and physical activities, and then the actual learning space. I think 9 minutes passed really fast. I'd love to talk more, but I guess it's time for me to say thank you here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Soninen. The next talk is Learning Through Ancient.js Programming. Let's welcome Ryo Shimizu, CEO of Ubiquitous Entertainment.
Hi, I'm Ryo Shimizu, the CEO of Ubiquitous Entertainment. I will talk about the history of tools. 20,000 years ago, the man got the tool, the first generation tool, like a bone. And before centuries, 3,500 years ago, we have a pad in Mesopotamia. And 5,000 years ago, we have Egypt, the papyrus. And then we got the Chinese paper, so it is a prototype of the paper. And in 12th century, we got the paper factory started in France and Italy. In the 15th century, the Gutenberg invented a movable type printing. And 19th century, we have a fountain pen, as known as a pen today. So then, 1851, the modern paper industry started. And 1890, the Horace tabulating machine is invented. And 1991 and 1911, Horace merged with 3 companies. The company's name is the Computing Tabulating Recording Company. And after that, the CTR renamed as IBM. In 1941, there's a prototype of hypertext. This is just a book, just a novel, but it contained hypertext. So this is a prototype of the hypertext. And after World War II, Vannevar Bush, he was a deputy general manager of Massachusetts Institute of Technology. He imagined the hypertext machine, the name, the MAX. In 1962, Douglas Engelbart invented the mouse and online system as known as the NLS. In 1965, Ted Nelson created an idea of hypertext and hypermedia. And this is Xanadu, his hypertext system. In 1968, Alan Kay created the concept of personal computing. In 1977, Apple II. 1984, Macintosh. In 1989, Tim Berners-Lee invented the free World Wide Web and HTML on Next. In 1994, Mark Andreessen developed the free browser. The name is Mosaic. In 1999, Entity Document started an iMode. In 2007, Steve Jobs announced an iPhone. This is a history of tools. So many tools invented. It was evolved. This is an evolution of computers. And then, 10 years later, are we still using a notebook like a MacBook? Today, this is a usually meeting room in an IT company. This is a MacBook Pro, but it's not using because it is a little bit closed. And she using paper. And this is whiteboard, and there's a paper. I'm curious, why are they using an old-fashioned notebook? Why it isn't high-tech like a MacBook? So possibly, there's an oversight in process of evolution for tools. And I think the key point is handwriting. Because handwriting is the king of the thought tool for thought. So there is an oversight in design of modern computer. It is the point of view that's tool for thought. This is handwriting. She write something, idea, and then she can read an idea from paper, and she considers. This is a loop. This is a thinking loop. So we evolved the paper from analog to digital and enchanted it. The name is Enchantment. This is a hypertext authoring tablet. And so this is realized smooth writing, such like a paper. And this is a hyperlink. A user can make a hyperlink as by a finger only. And also, they pick up something hypertext web page and cut part of that. This is Enchantment. This is a device. This looks like tablet, but it's a little bit special tablet. And smooth handwriting, and you can make a hypertext contents very easily. And there's the Moonblock, the visual programming language. And the contents can export as HTML. But it is now in progress. So we focus on early education, such like kindergarten. So very young people can make a drawing, make scribble, so something characters or his mother or his father's picture. And then they can make a program with Moonblock. This is a visual programming language. This is the work of written in the Enchantment, so very smoothly, and looks like papers. And then I introduced about some mathematics and game coding in Moonblock. This is my first girlfriend when I was 6 years old, and I met her as 30 years later. This is a sign. This is sign functional. Did you use this for practical purpose? It is very difficult. But then the boy I want to move enemies in zigzag. So it realized so this is a moon block, and I made a program, and this appears there. And then when the boy want to move in zigzag the bear, we can make a function here. Auto. Yeah, this is zigzag. So this is a sine wave. But the boy didn't consider but any complexity ideas. He just make moving zigzag. It is very simple, easy to understand. And this is a pretty simple physics formula. So, but he just want to drop the apple from top. But I have no time, so not apple. And then, yeah, it is accelerate. It's drop off. So this is Moonbrook. Moonbrook is a real Moonbrook and ancient moon realize so smoothly pass to programming, and we can educate very young people. So, and one of the goal is to give a power of programming for all people of Japan. Not only for Japan, it's Los Angeles. And so mother and daughter learning Moonbrook, and also Delta and Daddy, and Los Angeles, Sweden, East Coast, Silicon Valley. So many people learning about the Moonbrook, and they're really excited. Because this is a 7-year-old boy. He learned only 1 hour of a Moonbrook, and then he made his original game in a few hours. And also we held something educational event in Gotanda, and they make hypertext contents. They are very normal people, not experts, not programmers, not scientists. She is a college student. She learning about education, and the guy is a retired people. He working for a yakitori restaurant. So many people can use program using a special tablet. So the final goal is I will give a power of programming for all people of this planet. And when you master the programming, then you can realize your dream by yourself. It is my dream. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Shimizu. Just before inviting the last 2 speakers, we will explain about global math. Hearing from Ms. Chie Hoshi from the Department of the Business Strategy at Benesse Corporation. Ms. Hoshi, please come up to the stage.
Thank you, Ms. Speaker. My name is Chie Hoshi from Department of Digital Business Strategy of Benesse Corporation. Here, let me explain about what's global math. By the way, you have the card of Global Mass. Would you please have a look? And also in the transparent bag, there is a sticker. So there is, please put that sticker on your computer. And also please access to the URL so that the platform we call Global Mass. There are 5 math games on it. So the computer is now not working well, so I would like to explain about a little bit about Global Mass without visual aid. I would like to explain about the PISA 2000. Have you ever heard of the PISA before? Could you please raise your hand? That is the international survey conducted by OECD. And one of the item called PISA 2000 estimate the area of Antarctica. Do you know this problem before? Could you please raise your hand? I would like to show that. Please imagine the map of Antarctica. And how do you solve how do you find the area of the Antarctica? Do you have any opinion? That is the first PISA test. And Japanese students don't get good mark. There are several ways. Even though they can calculate the area of squares or triangles, they cannot find the solution of Antarctica. For example, just counting piece of unit is one solution. And also, maybe replacing a big triangles or squares will be another solution. And also, you could approximate with big circle, because the Antarctica is very similar to the circle. So there are several ways to estimate the area of Antarctica. The point is, computer cannot find this solution by itself. Only human can think and create the solution. That is what I want to say. Let me follow the process of problem solving. In this case, first, discovery of a problem. That is the estimate the area of Antarctica. And second, planning how to solve the problem. For example, in that case, maybe the approximation by using the circle is one plan. And third, execution. If the solution is like that, the purpose is to calculate the area of circle. Then finally, in the fourth, review how different between that estimation and the real area. If there is a big discrepancy between the two measures, then you can take another plan. Judgment is also what human can do, which that kind of skill cannot be replaced by computer. Then, please, do this. So the point is, that kind of problem-solving skills will be promoted under the problem-solving 4 steps. And global math that you are seeing, that URL, was defined 9 skills in the process of problem solving. And global, yes, here it is. And creator of the global math game should think about those 9 skills so that players will nurture those skills. Have you heard of OECD key competencies before? Would you please raise your hand? The global math 9 skills are highly related with those key competencies. These 3 categories of key competencies are defined by OECD's the wide range of scholars, experts, and institutions, taking 5 years, because OECD thought that what competencies do we need for a successful life in the 21st century? Especially acting autonomously is very important. Learning is no more passive and no more just rote memorizing, like Antti mentioned in his speech, but more positive by learners. Here, global math nurtures problem-solving skills. Global math is a game platform that allows anyone, anywhere in the world to play math games with the aim of nurturing mathematical thinking skills in the process of problem solving. Players can enjoy math games, and creators can upload their own original math games on the platform. We recommend and ask to use Enchant.js that Shimizu-san invented as a program on these players. So please, listener to overseas, please join this platform as a global creators. We have worked on this project since 2010. Mr. Fujimoto and Mr. Kishimoto will talk about it more in detail in the following speeches. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Hoshi. Now, let's move on to the 2 speeches about global math. The first talk is on online platform to enhance game-based learning by connecting developers and users. Let us welcome Toru Fujimoto, Assistant Professor at the Center for Research and Development of Higher Education at the University of Tokyo.
Hello, my name is Toru Fujimoto. I'm an assistant professor at the University of Tokyo. My main job at the University of Tokyo is running open education services such as Todai TV and iTunes U, and also the MOOCs on Coursera. We are offering MOOCs on Coursera since last year. And my research focus is on game-based learning. I founded Serious Games Japan community in 2004. So it's been almost 10 years I'm working on this topic. And I also published several books on serious games and game-based learning and gamification. So here's my talk. It seems we're quite behind the schedule, so I'm gonna go over my talk very briefly. I'm going to talk about the concept behind the global math, and also how I'll talk how it came like this and why it is important. So as Hoshi-san mentioned, this is the 3rd year of the project, and we, University of Tokyo, worked together with Venice Corporation in the second year. So we're gonna talk. I'm gonna talk about the second year research project of global math. At the beginning of the project meeting, Hoshi-san and Takashi-san came to our office and we had a meeting, and they said that we want to produce a platform for math learning games, okay? And we want to reach more global audience. And we want to make more great games, and we want to offer more opportunity for younger game developers. And we want to hold a game design contest for students. Okay, that sounds great. And they said, but we don't have additional budget on this. It doesn't look so great, but we can come up with something. And then, but this is a quite typical project, quite a typical situations for the development project for the learning games. Learning games project tend to be quite small budget and short-term project, tend to be short-term project. And it's very difficult to include evaluation phase for the project. So even though the development is successful and then we produce good games, it's very difficult to market because it tends to be very small marketing budget. So it's very hard for the independent game developers to get into this game-based learning field. So our solution goes to that building an open platform to connect developers and users in a very early production phase, so that the developers can gain user feedback to improve their product. And also users can more opportunity to play learning games. So in terms of the evaluation, there are several ways to evaluate the result and outcomes of the game-based learning. And the first one is quite traditional approach that is called game scoring assessment approach, which is basically using the result such as scores and points or achievements of the users throughout the gameplay. So, and the second one is a quite frequently used approach for the educational research, which is called external assessment. We usually use a pre and post test to assess the user's knowledge in terms of the learning objectives. Also, we use a survey to assess the satisfaction rate, satisfaction of the users, and also we do some interviews as well. And the third approach is a quite current trend of the evaluation method for the game-based learning, which is called embedded assessment. In the embedded assessment, we collect the user's playlog data in real time, and we analyze the playlog data in real time. And then also some platform uses the approach to adjust the difficulty level and assess the detailed skill based on the learning objectives. So based on that notion, we created the global, we renewed the previous global math platform, and we made a prototype in the second year project. The global math platform is an online open online platform to host mathematical thinking games. It consisted of web content management system, which hosts your games, and this platform can showcase your games. And also, the platform has a playlog database to collect and archive the playlog data. And also, the platform offers a global math API, which transacts game data and learner profiles. And also, the developers can use a monitoring system so that how the game is played by the users. So this is the overview of the platform. So you can register as a developer. You can register and showcase your games on the platform, and the users can freely play. And then during the gameplay, the entire play log data is archived in the database, and then you can use the monitoring function. You can visit the developer's page, and you can see how the game is played in real time. And you see the result, and you can improve based on the data, your games based on the data. And we researchers can observe and then get research data from this database. So during the prototype project, what we found is the game developers enjoyed observing others' progress. That's because you can see how others doing on the platform, and then they motivate to improve their product. This is Professor Kishimoto will talk about that more detail later. And also, we found that creators have learned a lot through making games, of course. So I'm very happy to see this project is keep going, and hope to see more games on the platform, and you can join to develop your games. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Fujimoto. Now, we will move on to the last talk, what students learned as global math game creators for 2 years. Please join us in welcoming Yoshihiro Kishimoto, Associate Professor at University of Technology.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Yoshihiro Kishimoto. I'm an associate professor at the Tokyo University of Technology. I'm happy to have this opportunity to speak to you. Today, I would like to present the result of the study that I have been pursuing for the last 2 years. That is, what students have learned as global math game creators for 2 years. My talk today will have 2 parts. First, I'll talk about last year research. Next, I will explain what we are doing this year. Before moving on to the math subject, main subject, let me explain the background of this research. I had been working as a game developer for 28 years. First at Namco, a major company, and second at Koei, another major company. Now I teach and study gamification and game design at university. And I hope to share my teams with my students and re-examine them from a new perspective. These are the games that I developed. Okay, so much for the introduction. Let me begin my presentation by asking you this. how did you like the math lesson when you were the elementary school student? Number one, lovely. Raise your hand. Phew. Number two, so-so. Please raise your hand. So many. Number three, awful. Please raise your hand. Sam, thank you. I see some of you hate math. Okay, then we'll make a mathematical thinking games for you in elementary school this winter. Sorry. First, I'll talk about the Global Math Project 2013. The project was carried out from January to March last year, and the 13 student participants produced for mathematical thinking games were high school students. Most of college students hate math so much they made a good math game. These are 4 games that we produced: Logical Monster, Functional Magic Balls, Evidence of Love, and Lookhead Detective. The project processing. First, we held a planning session and next developed the game. Then we made a final presentation and finally testing the game. Result number 1. The first is that the student produced 4 games within the time limit. And second is that they have learned techniques, knowledge, and skills to produce interesting and educational games. Result number 2. We found 5 important reversible points as follows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not passed. And the student presented the result of this study at the Summer Regular Japan and SEDEC. Now, I'll explain about Global Math Project 2014. In this project, we developed 5 mathematical thinking games for elementary school students. 28 students participated and launched this month, and we finished in March. Let me introduce 5 games we are going to produce. Block Artist, a game of puzzle shaped. 4-color problem, a game of color puzzle. Racetrack Creator, a game of puzzle shaped. Koropita, a dice puzzle game. Think the Root, a card puzzle game. there are three purposes in this study. First, we are going to produce more games with higher quality this year than last year. Second, we are going to make our games for the new target, that is the elementary school student. Third, we are going to create non-verbal and global games this year. The last year, we are produced only in Japanese. You will share to show you the games in March. Don't miss it. Thank you for listening. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kishimoto. Now, we want to start our session 2, panel discussion, with our 4 honorable guest speakers and their moderator, Ms. Chie Hoshi. The theme is Broaden Learners' Perspectives Through Creators Learning. Let us welcome the 4 speakers and Ms. Hoshi.
Itaya-san, mic? Only one mic. So let's start session 2, panel discussion. Thank you very much for your great speaks in the session 1. I was very much impressed by your speech. In this session, we are going to discuss broaden learners' perspectives through creators' learning. This is the theme of the symposium. We would like to talk about 2 themes. Theme 1 is related with the past experience. So, what do you think of creators' learning based on your experiences? Mr. Antti, I'm impressed by your entertaining education. Could you please tell about more?
Today is actually the first day I hear the word creators learning, but did I understand correct that it means that you're not only passively absorbing something, but you're actively creating something and learning more at the same time? Did I understand correctly? Okay. So let me take a very concrete, there's many examples I can take from Rovio, of course, but one thing, for example, in learning Japanese. I've lived in Japan now for a while, and I've noticed that it's much easier to learn Japanese if I just try to speak it, make a lot of mistakes, but still try to use it. I learn faster than just passively trying to understand. So that's one personal example.
Thank you very much. So the not passive, but maybe creating the entertainment will be workable.
In entertainment, for example, if we look at our Angry Birds Playground program at Rovio, we also encourage kids to, we have these activity books. They're not called learning books. They're activity books that, well, first you learn something, but then you try it out, and then you learn something new because of that.
So, Mr. Shimizu, you talked about 7-year boy because you are promoting smooth writing called Ancient Moon.
Yeah.
So, would you please expand about your personal experience through your work?
Yes. basically, I think the most beautiful experience is creation. So the young people really love to drawing or something, make a game or something, making a craft, paper craft. So game is one of them. But game is more complexity, but more exciting. And the game is more easily to understanding something like physics, mathematics, or something like literature. So I think is my personal experience is it is easy to explain, or it is easy to educate to young people by game programming. So anybody, any young people could understand this, how to make a game. But it is difficult to teach a program to old-fashioned peoples. It's more difficult. I have many class. I have many lectures in the world. So also Tokyo, Osaka, and also Sweden, Massachusetts Institute of Technologies, and California. But many old guys, many normal people, it is difficult to understand something like a program. So I created Moonblock, the visual programming language. But it is not only visual programming, such like a Scratch in MIT. Scratch is only for visual programming, only for education. But Moonblock is a practical program. It is based on Lisp, the functional language. So has a much more practical language. So
thank you very much. I hope the younger people will love programming by easy tools. So Mr. Fujimoto, you were talking about the embedded assessment. The theme of this symposium is the learning through creativity, creators learning. Do you think the embedded evaluation can be done for creators at the platform?
Yes, in theory, of course. And I would say, why not? Because the framework we created, it can be applied to the creator's assessment as well. You need to have to be clear about what would you like to assess, and also how would you collect the data to assess that. So you have to create the evaluation scale and then tools to data collection, and that's it.
Thank you. So maybe entertaining the education by programming on that kind of embedded assessment will be perfect. So to Mr. Kishimoto, you have joined the Global Math project since last year. Did you find any findings in your students who took part in our project? Is there any change in students?
Yes. Every student has changed significantly. Before Global Math, they are making just fun games. Of course, fun games are important. However, later this project, they realized that game production skills are useful for society. And they are working on graduate research useful for society.
Then let's move on to the theme 2. In the theme 1, I asked you about the past experience. In theme 2, I would like to ask about the future plan in your business or idea. Would you please explain about how will you engage in creators learning in the future? To Auntie?
So obviously we'll build more games, because just like Shimizu-san said, games activate people more. Our Angry Birds Playground program is currently only for people who are between 4 to 6. The next step we want to take is take that to all other age groups.
Thank you. So how about Mr. Shimizu? Is there any innovative plan maybe you have?
Yeah. Right now we have something a workshop with the kid and parent. So they learn about the game programming together in a day. And we have something like many workshop events in Japan and overseas. So it is not for future plan. But I think we could make more easily to making a more complexity game, more useful language, useful functionality add to Moon blocks. So, for example, I have a plan to making turtle graphics, like logo, old-fashioned language for education, and also I think about gravity simulator, such like NASA. So it's a multi-agents simulator block. It is very easy. Just put on the block, but they could play such like playground is a planet. So it's a future plan in very near future.
Thank you very much. It will be so excited to look at, and maybe you can participate in the workshop they will promote. Mr. Fujimoto, do you have any current plan?
Well, maybe I should participate in your workshop and use it and to run the Moon blocks, I guess. And we also offering some courses, classes to teach how to create a video. So it's called the media creation workshop. So we want to see, I want to see more opportunity such as your workshop and our workshop, and it's nice to see that. So.
Thank you. So finally, would you please let us know your opinion, Mr. Kishimoto?
I hope Global Mass this year. Students made the games in Japanese last year, but they are making games in English in this year. They will know the game are played by children overseas as well as Japan. For example, they will go to elementary school foreign, and they will see children playing happily in games. I think shouldn't realize globalization by it. Please invite the winner team of this year contest to elementary school foreign.
Yes, I hope it will, maybe. So maybe almost the time is up, but maybe, do you have any question, one question to the speakers go ahead.
Okay, I'm a high school student, and I've played education-based games in elementary school. What I noticed was that most of the tasks aren't integrated with the motive of the game. For example, I played a game where I was supposed to beat an opponent, but in the process, I would organize things into Venn diagrams, or I would have to locate the capital of a certain country. And that wasn't integrated into the objective of the game. That's why I found it very boring. And well, I noticed that for example, Rovio is working from the objective side of the game, while the researchers are working on the educational purpose, the task side. What I personally would want as a consumer is an integration of those two motives. What do you think? How would that happen?
Maybe I think that Mr. Shimizu is the most appropriate person to ask.
Okay.
Answer. Motivation of programming. Yeah, from your experience, please.
Okay, so you mean the motivation control?
Yes.
Basically, so when the game is a main purpose only for education, maybe the kid don't like to play that, but because it's bored, very bored. Well, the kid do not want to learn education, but the game just like swing the bat. swing the bird, or just launch a rocket. It is very fun, but it is so it is a very easy stage and a little bit complexity, but and easy. So this is a game balance control, level design. It's called as level design. The scale of game design, one of the scale for game design. I think Professor Kishimoto knows about that because she has a many experience in consumer game industry. So,
Mr. Kishimoto, do you have any opinion about it? How do you design the level design?
Sorry, I speak little English, so after the session, I answer you in Japanese.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much for organizing the meeting because almost the time is up. So we would like to conclude this session. Thank you very much for participation. I think the learners' perspectives will be more broadened through creating programs, thinking about difficult concepts like physics or science or mathematics, and even younger kids can try that kind of challenge learning through creating programs by using easier programming tool. So I think that is the conclusion of the session too. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you very much, Mr. Soninen, Mr. Shimizu, Mr. Fujimoto, Mr. Kishimoto, and Ms. Hoshi. The session 2 is also full of insightful innovative learning. Through the EdTech Symposium Volume 2, we hope all of you have learned a lot of things from various perspectives. Please write your comment, opinion, and question on your questionnaire sheet, and please return it to reception when you leave this room. Very lastly, Ms. Hoshi of Benesse Corporation would like to make a closing remark. Ms. Hoshi, please.
Thank you, Ms. Speaker. It's my great pleasure to give you closing remarks. I hope you learned how the creativity can enhance the learning possibility. Then I would like to inform you 2 things. First one is like this. This one, please. Upcoming February 12th, the next EdTech Symposium will be held in Japanese here at 5 p.m. The presenters are, as you see, Mr. Toru Iyoshi, and also Norio Murakami, and also Daisuke Iwase. They are very great presenters. The theme will be open education and MOOC as lifelong learning. And the second information is about the Global Math Guideline in English is just released. So now this symposium is released to the overseas creators. Please look at this platform and click on that on the top. You can see the technical information in English. So please challenge and global math creators. So that is the information I would like to show you. And as the master of ceremony told you that please fill out the questionnaire on the pen and leave that paper on your seat. As well as the pen is also, please leave the pen at desk. And until 7:30, we will have a refreshment outside this hall. So please stay there and talk to others, exchanging the name card. Thank you very much for your attendance and the patience for inconvenience. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Hoshi. Now, the EdTech Symposium Volume 2, Broaden Learners' Perspectives, Creators Learning is successfully over. Thank you very much for attending today. We hope you not only found the symposium interesting, but informative, but rewarding as well. Please take the next 30 minutes to speak to each other and share your defined perspectives. Thanks again.